I'm sure Chelsea would absolutely love to have him right now. They lost 1-0 at home to the bottom side in the Premier League, Southampton. I want to tell you what Graham Potter said afterwards. He said, when you don't get results, it can be tough. That's how it is. Some people will think I'm the problem. I don't think they are right, but that doesn't mean they can't articulate their views. Can you articulate your views to me, Janusz, and tell me if you think Graham Potter is the problem or not?
Yeah, he's part of the problem. He's inherited something that he probably didn't sign up for, as we've mentioned. Todd Bowley doing whatever he wants to do, bringing players if they make sense or if they don't make sense. I told you that I like the chaos of this project, but only if at some point, and that's difficult. Nobody comes out with this. Only if he's the sort of manager that's going to be like Mikel Arteta, and he's going to be given 3 or 4 years, and somebody actually says that. Because if nobody ever says that, then it leaves us wondering. And I don't think Chelsea fans are willing to do that, to just know that they're not going to be winning anything. Because right now, Graham Potter should be in trouble, because there's no possibility in the world that Chelsea Football Club can lose a game to the last team in the table at home in that fashion. It's just impossible. You can't have a manager that wins 2 games in 15 and you say it's okay, it'll be better in the future. When is that future? That is my issue, because as I've said, the only thing I'm asking from Graham Potter, if I were a Chelsea fan, is to show some progress. I said it before, and I'll repeat that again. We saw that from Mikel Arteta. He was being fired by us, by everybody, over and over and over again. But you saw the progress. 2 times, 8th in the table, missing Champions League, and this season right now, right? Now, are Chelsea willing to do that with a manager that has all these players? We see no identity. Lineup is totally different. I don't know. You tell me. It does not look good. And I don't know if he understands his best starting 11. I continue to wonder why Mason Mount is being marginalized the way he is. Again, a player who should be a central midfielder, a playmaker who once again starts on the left and in the second half goes to a false 9, right? The best player whose, a contract is up for debate right now. They don't really want to talk about it. You tell me that you getting rid of a player like that has the experience of playing for England, playing for Chelsea, who, in my view, is one of the best players on Chelsea Football Club. The previous coaches thought that as well. He was thriving under previous coaches. So it just brings me back to a point: is that does Graham Potter even know which direction to go? This is a random collection of players right now, and to a degree, that's not Graham Potter's fault, because the management and the ownership are continue to buying players. And at this stage, I have zero idea what to make of Chelsea.
Are you suggesting, Janusz, Potter to be out? How long does he get?
He's going to get for the rest of the season, because at this stage, I'm not sure if it makes any sense, to let him go. Obviously, they're still in the Champions League, like the teams that I've mentioned, Manchester City, Liverpool, but Chelsea, I think in particular, this is going to be very important for them, because it can change the season. If they do come back and get past Borussia Dortmund, which is still questionable, of course. But after that, I'd seriously think about it. I just think that this is a massive job that I don't know if Chelsea, I mean, the board and fans in particular, will have the patience to see, given what they've seen so far. As I've said, 2 wins in 15 games doesn't bode well. If I were them, I'd go after Pochettino. He's proven at Spurs that he can build a team, even with young players, with random players. He has taken Spurs to the Champions League final, and I think understands the league. I think he's got the toughness. And maybe he would be better suited to do that. So I'm just throwing his name on it. There's probably other names that will come up, but I'm starting to lose faith a little bit in Graham Potter, not necessarily because I don't think he's a good manager. I think he is, but when he first came in, we felt that he was being thrown into the deep end, right? And now, after what we're seeing, what has happened, I just think that the management has made it so much more difficult for it, and I don't think he has the experience to do it.
Too many dribbles as well when you look at the fact there was no goals. When you look at the stats for this one and you look at the dribbles from Chelsea in this game compared to the rest of the Premier League teams this weekend, it stands out given that it's a side that didn't score a goal in this game. And it just brings me to another question. You see a team like Southampton who've just lost their manager, who look like a team against them. And then you see Chelsea and you have to ask, is it too many individuals, which does then point to Todd Bowley as well, that we're seeing in this Chelsea team here?
Yeah, I mean Southampton. I mean it's desperation, right? I mean they're up for a fight. Great, James Ward-Prowse, of course, a tremendous goal. So I'm not going to compare this performance to Southampton per se, right? Because they're fighting, Southampton's fighting for survival here. But the sense of urgency and just a randomness of this Chelsea team week in and week out, different players. I mean, there's stats out there, how many different combinations. I mean, look, this project is long. I don't think Graham Potter owes anybody anything. I mean, this is a relatively young team, so these players can't have an expectation that I must be playing. I think if I'm Graham Potter, I settle on a lineup and go with it for the rest of the seasons, right? Small squad, 12, 13, 14 players. I mean, Reece James in the stands because they're managing his minutes. Okay, I understand that. Very important players for now and for the future. It's been injured quite a bit. But, I mean, if it's just managing his minutes, if there's nothing that we don't know, that there was not a small knock, if it's just that, why not have him on the bench? I mean, he'd help. Just the fact that he's there. Just the fact that the opposition knows that he's there. And if you're managing his minutes, well, then bring him on for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I mean, this is how important this season still is. So I just don't get it, right? That when there's a revolution, it's going to take time. But in the meantime, it's still a Chelsea Football Club who looks like a championship team right now.
So if it is a small squad that he needs to focus on and a squad that he sticks with, who's going to be in charge of scoring the goals? If it was up to you, who are you going to play in that position?
Well, they don't have anybody. No. I mean, that question stays unanswered. I mean, look at Chelsea and the amount of goals they've scored. Nobody's scoring goals. So, I mean, what am I going to say? I mean, is it going to be David Fofana? I just met him basically, and so is everybody else. I mean, he's a youngster. It's a big ass. Mason Mount is a false nine? Absolutely not. Kyle, Havertz, as we know, that's not his job. He doesn't know how to do it properly at this level, and it's probably, not fair to him. So there's nobody. They're just going to have to fix that problem a little bit later on. But at this moment, I just think that this team needs absolute stability and not a new team with 3, 4, 5 changes every game just because you have a huge number of players that you just bought in January. I don't know if that's the reason or not, but it seems crazy to me that there's no stability. With stability come some results. The problems aren't going to be resolved, but I don't think changing left and right in every position, every game is the answer.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.